To start a compost pile or a compost bin without investing too much time or energy and just, trying it out, I'd say, grab a really old trash can such as this, making sure it's got some holes in the bottom, okay? And if you're thinking about throwing one away and it has the holes because of it, then use it for a compost bin. That's where your microbes, your worms are gonna get in. And if you want to put a little bit more energy in, you could poke a couple of other holes into the bottom. I would recommend, drilling a couple of holes around the sides, again, to allow for aeration, allow for the air to come in. You do need the air. We want all the materials inside the pile to be exposed to the natural elements. We don't want it to be a closed system like a landfill. So one way to do that is obviously, let's drill the holes, let's make sure there's openings on the bottom. If it comes with a top, great. You can this works just like my compost bin in the back. You just lift it like I had taken off the top, you add your stuff. So I'll take this in the back and we'll take some of the materials out of the compost bin and add it to here and get some more food and see what happens. Now you'd want to place this preferably on bare ground. Obviously that's where all the microbes are coming in from, and it's just virgin soil. But there's an alternative too, that if you don't really have that kind of space or that environment, you can kind of create one. And this is what I was going to do. You can take a cardboard box and lay it down maybe close to the edge of bare ground. Place this on top of it, right? And then start adding your materials. Obviously you want it exposed to the sun. And we can add some of the worms too, just to get it started. But you'd be amazed. Where the idea came from to use a trash can came from the fact that when I had borrowed some asked for grass clippings from my neighbor, it was just sitting there. I hadn't added it to my compost pile yet, and it was sitting there for maybe 2 weeks time, 3 weeks time, and it was just the grass clippings, maybe some incidental leaves. And when I was ready to actually transfer it to my compost bin, and I had tipped it over to scrape some of it out, there was actually composting going on. It actually had created some soil out of it, and there were some active worms in this pile. Just from that grass and some incidental brown leaves, there likely was an old dried out plant that was added that likely had the worms in it right at the root ball, and it just went to work on itself, and it wasn't planned. So lots can happen with just a trash can. I need to get a shovel, I need to get my broom and dustpan so I can collect some of my brown waste over here. We'll collect some green waste over there and kind of simulate starting a compost pile. I've got a couple of tomatoes that went bad, and a kiwi that's kind of shriveled up, and yeah, it would be convenient just to throw it right in there, but to help the microbes and the worms get at the food, we want to chop it up for them into smaller pieces. So now if these were sitting out, I'd have a slew of fruit flies, but I had these in the refrigerator. Okay, so we'll use this to add to our new compost bin. Get some of this. A lot of brown dry waste. And really, after whoever is cutting your grass, they have it in the bag already. Rather than dumping it into the green waste bin, they just dump it into the compost bin. So then we add the food like that. And then we can cover it up with some more. You definitely want to cover the food just to hold down the smell. right on top. And some more of the greenways. There. That's all it is. And just make it done. And then we would cover it, leave it out in the sun, and let it cook. This is where I bring my worms, or get my worms from, and you can see when I move them, you'll see them pretty active down there. There's a couple right there moving around in there. They're happy campers. They are so happy, look at them. Mix it up. And the worms like it wet and moist. There's the tomatoes in there, that's going to add the moistness. We can also add some water to it as well. Just a little bit. Because the sun will heat the water. It helps with the process. Yeah. So I'll be checking on that periodically.